Good morning, good evening, good night. Wherever you're watching this transmission, it is I, Mike Martins. Welcome to another very special edition, a later edition. It's a little bit later. I slept at it, but it's my day off to Can't Read Market Talk with your host, Mike Martins. And yes, I can't read, but we could look at what's happening at the markets. Anyways, guys, thanks for joining me for this little short segment that I got going on in the mornings. And if I get time in the mornings, I'll do this for you guys. Remember, guys, I have a family, so it's kind of tough. So markets are easing up and crawling back after Trump discusses talk with China. So what's going on? Negotiations are going to move forward, and I guess apparently, according to Trump, the Chinese really want this deal bad. They really want to work this out bad, because it's pretty bad for the Chinese, and it's bad for the Americans, too, in the situation they're in, because the Americans aren't prepared to rebuild their production like they used to back in the 70s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. So remember back at the turn of the last 20th century, 1 out of 3 things was made in America. Now they sold all that off, and then now you guys know the rest of the story, right? So here we go, guys. We're going to take a look at the Chinese markets today. We're going to understand the different types of markets to look at when gauging market movements and stuff and volatility within markets, and which ones to specifically target, right, when looking into the markets. Okay, let's take a look. Markets have been open for a couple of hours now, and 3 hours before they close. The S&P TSX is up 94 points at 0.6%. 16,134. The S&P 500 at 2,874, up 27.54, up 0.97%. The Dow making a comeback at 257 points, up 1.01%, sitting at 25,886.52. And we got Canada and U.S. dollar still hinging around the $75 mark. Crude oil can't get over 54 bucks, SA. Look at that, 53.79, down 38 cents today at 70 cents a barrel. Oil somewhat started out down and kind of rose up and then back down in the pits. Bitcoin still hovering around 13,731 Canadian, up 236. So it's hinging around the $10,000 American mark. Gold futures, gold up again, 1540 decimal 30. So 1,540 gold futures, and $2.70 up right now. Russell 2000, guys, remember Russell 2000, how important it is to gauge this market because it's the big cap, the biggest stocks? Well, the Russell 2000 at 1,471, up 12.48%. So the big leaders are, again, regaining any losses they may have had over the Friday. The Russell 2000 was one of the lost quite a bit actually over Friday when Trump announced American companies to start manufacturing and creating goods at home. Okay, we got people in the comment section, so you can join us in the mornings live if you are available, if not at work. I got 6 people watching. Wow, that's pretty impressive. NASDAQ, 7,841, up 90 points, 1.16%. Volatility, 19.98 at 0.10 points up, 0.50%. And the FTSE at down 33.20, 7,094. So markets last night in Asia kind of did okay. People were expecting more and more drops. So let's get into some of the finance here. Mark on G7 gamble points to roadmap out of U.S.-Iran morass. France, the surprise invitation of Iran's foreign minister on the sidelines of the G7 offers a roadmap to end U.S.-Iran nuclear impasses and proposed meeting. So that's kind of good. They had someone there from Iran as a representation. Remember, guys, the G7 nations, are my opinion, are the countries that won and lost World War II. Countries that won World War II have a vested interest in the countries that lost World War II, because the countries that lost World War II basically were the ones that were rebuilt by the ones that won World War II. So it's basically all in the same nutshell, the same crap, if you ask me. So we got a Better Dwelling article here that I'm going to open too. We're going to discuss housing a bit here too. We'll throw the housing over here. We'll discuss a bit of housing, what's happening. Okay. Stock market news. Stocks rose Monday after President Trump said he wanted U.S. and Chinese trade negotiators to move forward with talks. The advance helps pair some of last week's steep drop. Guys, you know what happened last week. I was here live on Friday to discuss that. And Ukraine meeting with Russia held to be held in September. So I guess the French minister is deciding who's going to be... what's going to happen here. Trump says China badly wants deal. U.S. to open calm negotiation. Yeah. Yep. That's very interesting. Feds offer $15 million water bombers to top the G7 to help fight Amazon wildfires. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says the federal government is offering $15 million for what? For gas? For the planes? Like, I don't even think that covers the gas bill in the planes. Like, I'm going to be really frank with you guys. To help fight wildfires. Okay. Sometimes it's better not to say nothing, right, guys? You make more money, like my grandma says. You make money with your mouth shut sometimes, you know? Anyways, let's move on. 5 days left for Canadian stocks to recoup the $97 billion in August. Yeah, it's going to be a loss. Yeah, they're racing to month's end, and Canadian stocks took a $97 billion. We got comments here. Let's try to sweet little more in the mouth. Sweat a little bit more in the mouth. It feels good, says Gunter. VIX was up at the start of the day. Yes, it was. Dow rallies on trade optimism. What is going on here? Dow rallies on trade optimism. It's not good. It's not good to invest on the hunch, eh?
About phone calls, the president claims that Chinese officials made to U.S. counterparts about a possible trade deal. Neither the president nor his Treasury Secretary were willing to confirm that those phone calls actually took place. The news sent futures into positive territory, and you could see the market opening a short time ago going up about 1% there. Prior to that, futures had indicated a downturn, but many people are asking this question. Is the president telling the truth about those phone calls, or was his intention exactly that, to move the market? CNN business correspondent Alison Kosick.
So did he do it to move the markets? The Dow and the broader stock market rose today, reversing the course from Monday's sell-off after President Donald Trump said China wants to go back to the negotiating table. All three stock indexes were red. Remember on Friday we were live. We were seeing that live as it tumbled. Okay, so we got people here. It's a war zone here, says Mr. E. Mr. E is still in Hong Kong on the ground, and he's telling me it's a war zone. Police raiding and attacking innocent people. Oh my God, Mr. E, please be careful. I don't know if he's available to come on for discussion, because this Hong Kong thingy, this is a problem, guys, because this is going to reverberate through the economic world. Missing YouTuber Cringe Channel saying, hi, Mike, no shop today. No, I'm closed Sundays and Mondays. I'm closed Sundays and Mondays. I'm back on Tuesday. A nice little retirement gig I got for myself. Mr. E saying, live ammunition used yesterday. Yes, I read that article. That's pretty bad. We bounced back. Yeah, we bounced back, but the question is, at what cost? Is this phone call with China... You know, anything basically that Trump tweets or Trump says basically rallies the markets. Now, let's look at it a little bit here at the Vancouver real estate here, because it is in topsy-turvy downturn. It is not looking good. So let's head out to the graph here. So this is right here, guys. This is kind of important because a lot of people are keeping an eye on what's happening in the province of British Columbia, as it's been funded and... funded with a lot of foreign investing and a lot of speculation and a lot of money laundering. So let's see here, sales to listings ratio. So you got your sales to listing ratio in we want to kind of look at 2019 here, and your sales are down here. There's percentages. Oh, wow, look at Vancouver is right at the bottom, guys, for 2019. It is really low. Okay, you got a little bit of movement in the market in 17, even better in 2018. But look at 2019. People cannot secure financing for these houses, so it's not going to work, guys. It's not going to work. We're going to see the fallout in Vancouver, and it's not going to work. So, Cringe Channel says, I heard they sent in plainclothes military on motorcycles. Yes, they did. Time to get Mr. E to talk. Yeah, let's get Mr. E. I don't know. 31st, they plan to protest, attack the Chinese military headquarters. It would be a bloodbath. I've got a jet. Have fun. Okay, Mr. E cannot talk to us. I think he's on his way out. From Hong Kong. So we'll keep on the pulse with him. I'm not sure if he's going to head to Australia or Japan. I think he's going to move to Japan right now, the way things are headed. I think he's British, so he has a British passport, so we'll see what happens. So Vancouver right now, markets in a topsy-turvy. Let's look at the Asian markets. Markets move higher. Trump and China signal room for calm in trade talks. So remember, we are completely hinged on these trade talks right now, because right now, Monday morning, we're expecting a massive bloodbath in the markets with huge sell-offs. So let's see, go to CNN Business Room now.
This is your CNN Business Morning News Update for Monday, August 26th. Investors reacting to President Trump pivoting again on China, with markets slumping worldwide and confusion over an escalating trade war. The president told reporters at an impromptu news conference at the G7 that China called wanting to make a deal. A spokesman for China's foreign ministry told Bloomberg he was not aware of any calls between the U.S. and China. China's top trade negotiator said that China, quote, strongly opposes the escalation of the trade war. And Chinese Vice Premier Liu told reporters at a conference, quote, we are willing to use a calm attitude to solve problems by negotiations and cooperation. Together at last. Snoop Dogg.
No one cares about Snoop Dogg. Okay, we got a question asking, Cringe is asking, what's going to happen with Canadian dollar? Canadian dollar is they're going to do a bit of quantitative easing. They're going to lower rates in Canada even further, and they're going to drop. The dollar will stagnate. It won't go up, it won't go down, but it might drop against the US dollar though. So we are looking at, let's look back at the Canadian dollar right now. It's still sitting at 75 cents to the dollar. It's keeping itself above water. As long as Trudeau doesn't say something dumb at this G7 or whatever, and just kind of like remains neutral or whatever is going on, our dollar should be hovering around the 75 cent mark for now. Again, there is no phone call. Trump is denying any phone calls made with China. So could it be that the Chinese made this up so that people could calm investors in China? I think that's what's happening here. So let's look at what's going on with Shanghai here. Let's look at the SSE, the Shanghai Stock Exchange. So it is down 1.17% in the Shanghai Composite. The SSEB share, the 50. The one we want to look at right here is the 180. We want to look at the 180 a little bit more, and we want to look at the SSE 380, okay, guys? These are two important markets. The composite, of course, but the SSE 180, let's see if I have it open here for you guys. I think I had it open already. No, I don't. Okay, let's go to the SSE 180, guys. The SSE 180 consists of the 180 largest and most liquid A shares, okay? The stocks listed in the Shanghai Stock Exchange. The index aims to reflect the performance of the Shanghai blue chips. So we want to keep an eye on the 180 largest, most liquid shares. Very important, guys. And right now it is down 130 points, down 1.54% down right now. Let's look at the second most important, in my opinion, is obviously the composite, but I like to look at the SSE 180 because of that. You want to look at the big boys. How liquid are they? What's the blue chips doing, right? So let's go to the SSE composite quadruple 801. I'm not even going to go there. The SSE composite index consisted of all listed stocks, A shares and B shares, and the Shanghai Stock Exchange. The market aims to reflect the overall performance of the Shanghai stock market. It is down 33.86 points today at close, down 1.17%. So the Shanghai Composite, we're going to keep an eye on this every morning market talk just to see where it's at. So they're also discussing they've reaching a deal, or they're working with Americans. I don't believe any of this, guys. I'm sorry. So let's look at the newest new release from August 21. Q&A operations, SSE Star Market first month of trading. Okay, census conditions bringing companies into Hong Kong Stock Connect. So what's happening is companies are moving into from Hong Kong or whatnot onto different markets, because right now it is not looking good in the Hong Kong markets. Let's look up the Hong Kong. Let's look at what's going here. So guys, you want to be looking at small caps, guys. Small cap markets, guys. Gold and silver. Do your own research, guys. Remember, I don't speak English. Sorry, I can't read. So here we go. Yeah, it is the Hang Seng Index. Here it is, guys. So it took a little bit of quite a bit of a dip. It is down 449. It opened at 225, 322. It is down 499 points right now, guys. I'm going to have these links open, already pre-open for you guys for next show. I'm just starting this Can't Read Market Talk so we can go over some of the basics, because a lot of the technical channels get really technical and they don't, really explain what's going on to a point where we could all understand what's going on. So let's refresh the markets here and see where it's sitting at. Markets open for a couple of hours. US Canadian dollar still sitting at 75 cents. Crude oil still dropping to 53.95. Bitcoin to the Canadian dollar still sitting around, hovering around the 10,000 American. And we got to keep an eye on gold futures right now, up 60 cents. So we're still in positive territory at $1,538 US per spot ounce of gold. Russell 2000 is picking up the trend, and Russell 2000, again, very important market. It is the top liquid biggest top billion dollar companies on the Russell 2000, and that's what drove down the Dow basically on Friday, was the big boys losing their money. Okay, let's get over to comments here. What do we got for comments? Missing YouTube cringe channel saying very unlikely Trudeau will stop saying anything stupid. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. He already said something about sending $18 million to help fight the forest fires. I don't even think that's going to cover the gas in the planes. I don't know, right? Canadian export lobster to loving China soar as U.S. sales plunge amid tariffs. So Canada is, I guess, taking front and center on this trade wars and exporting their lobster now. So it looks like China is not getting any good lobster from New England. All right, what's going on here? Sebastian Seguador says, look at the 5-day charts to see the drops and rises in lines. Let's do that if you like. Okay, let's go on the 5-day charts. Let's see what we get. I'm not gonna open my personal trading window here, but let's look at the 5-day chart in gold. Here it is, guys. So you're seeing a lot of, but the thing is, gold is not on life support. Gold is trending nice. If it's going to have a few crawlbacks, a few upsets, all you need is somebody in the news to tweet something out or say something, and then boom! Gold spikes again and rallies. Gold is not on life support, people. Gold has a lot of room to stretch its legs as of right now, so don't you worry. Gold is not on life support. Now let's look at the let's look at VIX. Let's look at VIX. See, VIX is one of the ones that I kind of trade in back and forth, sometimes buy and sell myself. And let's look at the last 5 days of VIX, and it is, look at this. It's like, it's just like a couple of days. Look at this. Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. So VIX is up in the 20s, and then it goes back into the teens, and back in the 20s, back in the teens. A lot of day traders use VIX. Even semi-day traders, even weekly traders, buy and sell VIX on a regular basis. Keep an eye on that, guys. All right, let's go back to Bloomberg. Let's refresh this and see if there's any fresh news up here for us for morning market talk, guys. Okay, so let's look at a fund manager who beats 98% of peers. Stay calm and buy stocks. So let's look at this. Of course, fund manager is going to tell us that. Fund manager who beat 98% of peers says stay calm and buy stocks.
The Fed's seeming to commit to more easing, and President Trump taking that as a signal to double down in the trade war. So where does this leave us?
I think investors need to brace for more volatility. Listen, we're basically flat on the markets over the last 18 months since January of 2018, and investors need to be prepared for more of this. They need to be looking at how to take advantage of market rallies, to raise cash, to gift securities if that's what they want to do, and look at dips for those still wealth accumulating to look at opportunity to buy. But this is going to be with us for some time.
There you go. Volatility in the markets are going to keep going for a while because, like I said, we don't know. And we got the election, American elections coming up at the end of this year. We got the Canadian elections coming up in a month and a half. So we are trending towards election season. And what are we going to offer? I mean, what are our elected politicians going to offer us? I really don't know. I really don't know what they're going to offer.
Now, you say you still prefer US markets, but is the trade war really starting to push US equities into dangerous territory now, or is the US just still...
It's moving it into negative equities right now. What's the bond market sitting at? What the hell's the bond market? There's a 10-year bond. It's barely over 15 bond market. I could predict right now today that the bond market's going to close a negative percentage. Here's the 10-year bond, people. It's up 0.00007 points. So it's up 0.45%, sitting at 1.53. We're going to go into negative bonds. Look at it for the last month. There it goes right there, people. There's your last 6 months. Bond markets were sitting attractively in February, a lot more attractively. And here's the year to date. There's the 5-year. So there's your dip in 2000, the low there that we had in 16. There it is back. Is it hitting 2000? Yeah, it's gonna hit 2000. Bond market will hit 2016 levels according to what this is telling us here. Let's go back. So bond market is going to go into negative rates. Let's go back and see what this guy has to say here.
The cleanest dirty shirt.
I think that's a great analogy, and I think the way to look at it is I think there's more challenges in the overseas markets. Look at what's happening with the European banking system. Germany just issued 30-year bonds at a zero yield. So arguably, the deceleration in the global economy.
Put your money away for 30 years, and in 30 years, you'll get back nothing. Bonds overnight, somebody bought $8 billion worth. Yeah, I heard about that.
Is affecting Europe and Asia more so than it's affecting in the U.S. And I think there's still pockets of opportunity. We still believe in disruptive technologies and biotechnology and gene therapy and cell therapy where there's organic M&A, and we think this ultimately will drive prices in certain sectors of the markets where there's growth higher.
To your point, Bill, because of all of the challenges that Europe faces, they're talking about more stimulus potentially that could come, not to mention the China, the PBOC, and other parts of...
I like how she says China.
The economy do have more ammunition. Doesn't that feel attractive?
Clearly, valuations are more attractive and they're lower in the emerging markets and the international markets. But until we see any visibility with this trade war, I think that's the key here, is when we start to get a plan, I think there is an entry point in those foreign markets that are more fairly valued than our own. But I think it'd be prudent to wait until we get that visibility.
Again, North America is in the service sector. We got to get out of the service sector and start producing again. That's the key right there. Okay, what else we got going on? So the 10-year bond is one we obviously look at on a very close level. But gold now dipped to down 80 cents, still sitting at $15.36. Remember, guys, not even a month ago, gold was sitting at at 14. Let's look at the 5-day here. Let's look at the 1 month. Yeah, and there it is. I mean, look at it. Not even a few months back, gold was sitting in the $1,300 mark, and I don't know if you guys remember the big gold rally from, I think it was 1978 to 1981, 82, when gold went from, I think, $40-50 an ounce and went all the way up to $800 an ounce. That was in the late 70s during the big bull run of gold, and that's when gold went nuts in the markets in the very early 80s. Very early, up into 82, it ended the big bull cycle. And then a lot of people started jumping on the technology, right? So gold down right now, 50 cents, no big deal. All right, let's see if we got anything more here. Trump says China badly wants deal. This is important, guys. This week's markets, today is Monday, so this week's markets are going to hinge on this China-U.S. deal. Was a phone call made to the United States? We don't know. Did the United States make a phone call to China behind Trump's back? Trump knows nothing about it. So could this be the Chinese calming investors in Shanghai? Yes, I think it's the Chinese. The Chinese could say anything, right? So robots will come over for our jobs. Let's look over this opinion piece here, guys. This is kind of important. We've been talking about robots taking over our jobs for a long time now. We had the Raven on the show not too long ago, and he's been talking about job takeovers here with just automation, right? Robots will come for our jobs. Will we love them or loathe them? There's hope for happy transition in one odd discovery. Workers would rather be replaced by robots than a human. Oh, jealousy, right? In the survey, 2,000 people in Europe and North America, respondents were much upset imagining themselves in the first scenario being replaced by another human. The robotic takeover was easier to accept because it didn't batter people's self-image quite so brutally. And yeah, we know that. We know that. And yeah, every morning, 30 minutes, guys, if I wake up early enough. We got a few minutes left in the show. Let's look at Dow rallies. We covered that. Housing is a big deal right now, where everyone's looking at what's happening in Vancouver, because Vancouver is the blueprint. And yield curve, Canada's recession indicator is now flashing red alert. We know that. The recession indicator that has a perfect record in the U.S. now flashing red alert in Canada. Canada's 10 to 2-year Treasury yield spreading officially inverted in July. So a 2-year investment is better than a 10. I mean, that's nuts, guys. That's crazy. The spread has been flattening since 2017, but finally turned negative this month. The yield curve inversions indicate investor expectations for the future are sprawling lower. Are we going to see an inverted yield curve? We're going to see, a negative. Are we going to see negative yields in Canada on bonds? Yes, we are. Why? Because our housing market is too hinged to our market. Production's not there. Exports aren't there. Heck, hey, we're exporting lobster to Canada, to China now. So what? Canadian rate cuts may not do much since household savings fell to a 59-year low. So household savings, guys, we've been talking about this. Household savings are at a 59-year low. It's a big deal. Canadian households don't want to hear about your exotic German habits. Numbers show the unadjustment of household saving rate has imbecile. The rate of household savings made in the weakest Q1 print over 59 years. So look at this. This is a household savings here. Canadian household savings in rate Q1 of 2019. Look at that, people. No one has money. No one's saving money. No one's saving for a rainy day. Yeah. So what's happening is, our morning markets are rallying because it's hinged on a phone call. That's exactly what's happening, guys. Okay, what time is it? Yeah, we're approaching the 30-minute mark. Guys, I don't want to do this for too long in the mornings because, Anyways, let's keep an eye on the Shanghai. There's the Hong Kong markets right there. I'll have these links open so we could go over them clearly tomorrow morning if I do this again. Here it is. Everything is indicating to sell. That's what the stock Connect turnover is saying. Sell, sell, sell. And it is selling a lot more than buying right now. People buying thinking there's going to be a dip or there's going to be some sort of, how do you say it, calm in Hong Kong, but they're using real bullets right now. And we'll try to get Evan on the phone, hopefully for Mike in the Night, or maybe even tomorrow if he's available. We don't know. He's in the middle of all of this right now in Hong Kong. He lives right in the heart of Hong Kong. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, guys, that's our 30 minutes. Can't read market talk. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What are we going to see with gold? Guys, remember gold. Look at small cap miners if you're looking to invest cheap and hope for a big return. Small cap mining is usually where it's at. Take your time, guys. Do your research, and your research is very important, because remember, knowing is half the battle. And if you want to support this transmission on Patreon, go ahead and do that. Thanks for watching, guys. Big hug to everybody, and that is Can't Read Morning Market Talk.